Hi, second grade. Our project today is going to take 2 lessons, and it's going to be a mosaic picture. So a mosaic is when you use a bunch of different colors in little pieces and make some kind of a picture out of it. So we're going to be making a fish swimming in the ocean. So we'll do a lot of paper cutting today and maybe a little gluing, and then the next time we'll finish up the gluing part. All right, so for today, you're definitely going to want scissors and glue and a baggie to keep your pieces in once you cut them out. The big white paper is going to be our background paper, which I'm going to put to the side for now. And then I've got just small pieces of blue, yellow, orange, and I have 2 different colors of green here. So we're going to be cutting some shapes out of our different colors of paper. All right, so I'm going to start with the blue. And I actually have 2 pieces here, and I'm going to use both of them because I'm not sure how many. I'm going to need mostly blue if it's the ocean. So what I'm going to do is cut my blue paper into these long rectangles. And they don't all have to be the same size. They don't have to be perfect. Just okay, so I ended up getting 4 long pieces. Now, I'm going to stack all those pieces, and I'm going to cut out some triangles. So the best way that I can figure out to do a triangle is to start at one of the corners and cut a diagonal line. And that gives you one kind of triangle. Then if you move your scissors over and cut up to that other point, you get another kind of triangle. And you just want to keep doing that until you have lots of triangles. Now, when people made mosaics in the past, they've used rocks, they've used little pieces of glass. So there's really a lot of ways to make a mosaic. We're going to use paper, of course. All right, so I have my blue triangles cut, and I'm going to go ahead and put them right in my baggie because I definitely am not going to need those today. So when you make a mosaic, you have to have some kind of a picture in your mind or some kind of a design in your mind so that you know what colors you want to use and what shapes you need. Some mosaics are made completely with little squares, but we're going to be using some different shapes. All right, now I'm going to use my greens. And I'm just going to try to match up my 2 colors. I'm going to get rid of the extra. Okay, so those are all the little extra pieces. Okay, so I'm going to keep my 2 green together. And again, I'm going to make 2 strips, and then I'm going to stack them, and this time I want to cut out skinny rectangles. So that's easy, you just have to cut straight across. And they don't all have to be the same size. I'm trying to make them the same size, but if they're not, that's okay. All right, so I'm gonna take those now and add them to the baggie of blue. Now, if you want to keep your colors separate, you will need 4 different baggies, or at least 3. Okay. The orange. The orange I'm going to cut into circles. So now it's up to you if you want to trace something to make a circle on here. I'm just going to cut them out freehand, which means I'm not using something to trace, because I don't really want them to be too big. And they also don't have to be exactly the same size. I'm trying to get them sort of the same size. And I'm not going to make as many circles as we did the rectangles and the triangles. Now, if you don't have enough of one color, that's fine. The blue is going to be for the water. The green is going to be for some seaweed. And the yellow and the orange are going to be for the fish. So if you don't have yellow and orange, you could use 2 other colors. Whatever colors you want to make your fish. All right, I'm gonna do like 3 more circles. That should be enough. And they're not really circles, they're just kind of round, but I wouldn't say they're circles necessarily. Okay. Now with my other piece of orange, I want to make some wavy lines. So I don't really need them to be that long, so I'm going to go ahead and cut this in half. And I'm just going to take my scissors and make the waves with my scissors. So now I want that to be like a stripe. So I'm just going to follow the same pattern. The same direction, I mean, until I can get a couple of these wavy lines. So I have enough paper to do 4. Okay, now I'm going to take those and put them into the bag. I'm going to leave my circles out for right now in case we have time to start gluing. Okay, now with the yellow, we're going to make half circles or like rainbow shapes. So you do want one. This is probably 2 inches tall by 3 inches wide. You do want one big half circle or rainbow. So I'm going to cut one big half circle. Then I'm gonna go ahead and make these into like smaller strips. And I'm gonna try to cut out 2 from each side. So like a gumdrop shape. And they also don't have to be exactly the same. All right, so almost done with this part. Okay. So I am going to start some of the gluing today because this will take a while to glue everything on. So I've got my white background paper and I'm holding it sideways. And now I'm going to start putting my fish together. So this big half circle is the fish's head. So I'm going to glue that sort of in the middle, but over this way a little bit. And then these little circles are going to be the scales on the fish's body. Now when a fish is fatter up here and then it gets skinnier as you go to the tail. So I found that I had some smaller semicircles. So I'm using those to help make the fish get smaller in the back. If you didn't make any that were small, you can always trim them. Like these that I have left are pretty big. But I can also just use one big one, like that, to show that the fish is getting skinnier. I think that's all I'm going to do for the fish's body. Now the circles, we're going to use those to make the fins of the fish. And it's okay if some white shows through, but if I have enough circles, I'll show you something else you can do. Okay, so there's a top fin. The bottom fin, so we're not going to make as big. Okay. Now, I do have circles left. So if you have circles left and you don't want to leave a bunch of white showing, you could put some circles on the fish as a design. Like it has an orange stripe going back its body. Okay, So once you get done making your fish, I'm gonna keep my extra pieces just in case. I just have a few yellow and orange pieces left. I'm gonna put them in my baggie. And actually, I'm gonna get out this couple wavy lines. And I'm gonna glue those on for the tail. And then after I glue these on, that's where we're gonna stop for this time. And then next time we'll work on finishing up the picture. So let me go ahead and, now you don't have to make these if you don't want to. I guess I should have told you that at the beginning. Just makes the fish a little more interesting. And actually, I'm only going to do 3 of those. I'm not going to use my 4th piece. So I'll just tuck it in the bag in case I change my mind. All right, so keep your fish picture and your extra pieces in a safe place until next time. And I will see you then to finish the mosaic.